So we're gonna dive right into the question now. So what is Shinto anyway? So how does it differ from let's say, Abrahamic religion?
So Shinto is a natural spirituality. So it's a kind of a different critter than religion. So Shinto is the natural spirituality. It's a way of relating to the divine world. It's as a natural spirituality, it's very, very, very different than religion. It's kind of all cultures at one time had something like Shinto. It existed in human history before the emergence of religion. And so you mentioned Abrahamic traditions, which I, of course, am not familiar with. However, often people trying to understand Shinto are trying to compare to religion. And by comparing to religion, it's very, very difficult to get the feeling. Shinto would be more analogous to Native American spirituality or any kind of pre-religion spirituality.
Pre-religion spirituality.
So yes, it kind of originated. There was a very ancient time in human history. There was a very ancient time in human history that people were very, very, very connected to the workings of divine nature, which is coming. And then Shinto is an expression of that time. And also Shinto, of course, is the kind of, I feel, is the real genius of Japan. So as every culture has natural spirituality, but Shinto is a particularly very, very, very fine example.
Interesting. Can you give us some of the examples of what you're talking about? Why
every culture had something. So you mentioned in your remarks how Buddhism in Japan, Bukkyo, kind of flavored by Shinto. So in the same way, we're going to compare European tradition. Religion is often flavored by the pre-religion culture, pre-religion spirituality. So for instance, Tibetan Buddhism, for instance, has a really unique flavor. And that flavor would be influenced strongly by pre-Buddhist thinking or Bon. And in the same way, of course, it would be natural to assume that Japanese Buddhism is flavored very strongly by the native spirituality of Shinto.
Interesting. I cannot wait to go even deeper than that. So wonderful. It might be another difficult, like a loaded question, but often Westerners want to compare Shinto like a Roman pagan religion before Christianity. So is there any similarity between Shinto?
I can't say, to be honest, I'm so sorry to say that I'm not an expert of Roman religion. I think that perhaps Celto, so a Celtic thinking might be a lot closer to the Shinto. The nature is divine is the basic. Nature is divine. Nature is coming. That's the basic. And I think perhaps a more apt analog would be Celtic thinking. So that kind of pre-religion European spirituality, kind of, or pre-religion Slavic spirituality, any of those areas, I think might be a little bit closer to the Shinto.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Shinto is the natural spirituality. It's the way to come into harmony with the movements of life. And it's also an expression of being connected to the movements of life. Shinto is so fascinating. In very ancient times, in prehistory, people were able to intuit really great truths about the nature of existence. People at that time were not, we would say, not technologically advanced, but there was a spiritual technology that was able to intuit things that are very, very, very analogous to the cutting edge of quantum physics. So for instance, Shinto thinking about life is really that we emerge from the kami realm and return to the kami realm. That's the quantum realm. It's really, really quite fascinating. So also Shinto intuited things about this spiral nature of all movement in life. In the Shinto, we have the shide, these kind of origami paper helices. You see helices everywhere. And of course, now science tells us that even the path of a photon is actually a spiral path. Even the path of the planets are all spirals. We think of the orbit of the Earth around the sun, and we think of a two-dimensional kind of a representation. But in fact, everything is moving. Everything is moving. That infinite restless movement of the universe is called Kanagara. As the sun is moving and Earth is being dragged along in its gravitational field and on its journey together through time and space, that journey becomes a spiral. So it's everything in the universe is this really, from subatomic particles to galactic systems, are all moving in this incredibly complex, infinite spiral dance. Shinto is both a way to come into harmony with that spiral dance and a reflection of an innate understanding of that spiral nature of life.